Aaron, as a fellow outfielder, can you appreciate the difficulty of that play that Bellinger made?
That was incredible. I've never seen something like that on the field. To come in, especially a guy like Soto who can. I've seen him hit so many line drives over, outfielders' heads when they come in too hard, and he had a perfect read on the ball. Came in, shoestring catch, and then to throw out, Lindor at first. It's just all around a perfect play, and we needed it, especially in that spot. They got the top of the lineup coming up, getting some momentum there, so that was game-saving play right there.
How difficult is that to do, not only come in and get it in the way that he did, but then fire essentially a strike to first base there?
That's why he's got a Gold Glove. He's one of the best outfitters in the game for a reason, and we'll be seeing that highlight for a while. It's impressive. Only a couple few guys can do that in the game, and he's one of them.
Off the bat, were you thinking that you might be in trouble?
On the player?
The Soto, off the bat, are you thinking that's dropping for a hit?
I'm not too sure. I saw him, and I saw he had a good read, but then you just never know what the call the umpire is going to make, and everything was made perfectly right.
Given the losses this week, how important was it to win this one today in this match?
Every game's important. Doesn't matter what happened before, what's coming up. It's just about today. We were focused on today. We really weren't worried about the past 6 games, past 10 games, past 70 games. We were worried about what we had today in front of us, and just go out there and take care of that. Just like after this off day, we'll show up ready to go to focus on that game. So every game's important. So we're glad we were able to go out there and take care of business.
Aaron, Freed and Jazz got named to the All-Stars game to go join you in Atlanta. How would you evaluate what they've done the first half of the season for you guys?
It's been incredible what Max has done for us. Coming over here, coming into a big market, signing a big deal as a free agent. It's always tough. A lot of pressure, a lot of expectations, and he's, I think, definitely exceeded a lot of guys' expectations. And I think he's been a huge piece to the success we've had all season. Being our ace and kind of being the front line of this pitching staff, and then what Jazz has been doing all year, hitting the ball over the field, making some great plays. Excited for both of them to be in Atlanta. They both deserve it, and hopefully we can grab a couple more guys in this room to head with us.
Aaron, your homer pitch was on the outside corner, like a good pitch. Did you know that off the bat?
I knew it was going to be a hit, but I just didn't know where it was going. Can't really sit there and think about what's going to happen. I gotta, once you hit it, your job is to be a base runner and make the best read. So I was happy it went over, so we can add 2 more runs there, and but yeah, just try to put a good swing on it.
Where do you fit the other AL top home run guy coming in? Cal Raleigh plays a long way away, but what have you seen from him, and how impressed have you been with what Cal Raleigh's done this year?
Yeah, we saw him earlier in the year. He's a complete hitter. Hits the ball over the park. Being able to be a switch hitter and have both your swings on like that, it's impressive. So excited to see him.
6 games in against the Mets, what's your overall perception of what this team provides?
The Mets?
The Mets, yeah.
The Mets are the Mets, man. They got a great ball club. Starts with their manager. Mindy, I've seen for years here. He's going to get the boys fired up, ready to go, and it's a great ball club. They got a great pitching staff. The whole lineup is deep. Then they added a guy like Juan Soto right in the middle of it. It's always a tough matchup. So they've been one of the toughest teams we've faced all year, and hopefully looking forward to seeing them down the road.
Not good. And just what a play. I mean, that's considering the context of this week and everything. That's probably our play of the year so far, and to have the wherewithal and the quality of the throw to double him off. Just a great play by Belly.
Aaron, how difficult is that to do, coming in like that, stay on your feet and fire one off like that to first?
Yeah, you got to have your presence of mind while you're making a very difficult play. And that's one of those, it's like that in-betweener. Do you leave your feet? Your best way is to go try and shoestring catch it there. He's able to get underneath it, but just, that Cody Bellinger presence of mind thing that he has. We've seen it all year with him defensively. Just a really, really special play.
Brendan.
You mentioned seeing it all year with him defensively. How impressed have you been, though, with him defensively all year? He'll play left field one day, center field one day, then right field the next, and now first yesterday.
Yeah, he's the one guy I don't worry about, telling him where he's playing. That's the first conversation we had this winter was, he said to me, don't worry about where you play me every day. If I haven't played there in a while, I love it. I don't care. And that's what he portrays. That's what he shows. Everywhere he goes, he's good. I mean, I threw him in at first base yesterday, and he makes 2 really good plays over there. Look like he's just been there all year. So it's a special skill and trait that he brings to the table, as a player.
Tyler and Dave.
You mentioned the context of this week, right? A lot of stuff has gone on for you. So, in the context of this week, how important was it to get a win and to go into the off day with a win? And also, how much harder does what's happened this last week make it for you going forward?
Well, it's definitely made it harder, but I'm totally confident we'll get to where we need to be by the end. We just gotta obviously start playing better and more consistently in all phases. Walking down here, the both 6-game losing streaks that we had, very different. One was we weren't scoring. This one we're having trouble preventing runs from scoring. But like all the games, I don't know how many games came down to the kind of the wire, but it kind of felt like all of them. That's the frustrating part, is you have chances to win games, and we kind of haven't been able to push through on some of these. So it's a real gritty win. We're going through it right now. And for the guys to just, a lot of good things happen today, withstand some punches back and them coming back a little bit, being able to hang on, is important in developing the character of your team. You got to go through these things, and you got to meet the moment sometimes. And always, we kind of eyeing the off day, to stop the bleeding a little bit, get a W into the off day is always better for the soul.
That's a good way to put it. Other question for you: how much do you ever look at run differential? Like, because you guys are really good in that, even though the
not really, but I'm aware of it sometimes. I know ours is good. I don't know. It's probably a good indicator over time or over years, but there's always outliers, and there's always things going on in the season, or maybe something you're not doing well to finish off games, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter to me because we got to go win.
Andy and Dave.
Not that it ended up having a big consequence in the game, but I was wondering what you saw in the ball that was over Grisham's head, where he broke in or froze or something.
Yeah, I think just hit a little harder than probably Grish thought, and Grish still probably dealing with the leg a little bit. You saw him getting down the line today. It was so he's kind of grinding through that a little bit still. So probably not his normal explosiveness going off, but probably just carried a little more than he thought, I think.
Dave and Joel.
Reed said it was a lot of work today with that lineup getting through. Really, in that 5th inning, though, was the game maybe with Soto coming up, them rallying. What did you think of the way he handled Soto in that?
Yeah, it was huge. Because again, it was a grind for him, and they made him work. They put some guys on. But he made some pitches when he needed to, especially in big spots in the lineup. So, that's who he is. Even when he's not necessarily at his best, he's still very difficult to square up consistently.
Joel.
Aaron, this is a game you're winning 5-0 with your ace.
Yeah.
And as it's beginning to slip, is it hard, do you think, for you and your team to not get into here we go again when you're in this kind of situation?
Well, that's why a day like today is important, to get through it, shake hands, win, hang on. A handful of guys do some really good things in that game, whether it be defensively, whether it be out of the bullpen. Those meet the moment kind of things that happen throughout the course of a year. You're going to be tested. Whatever rubber's going to hit the road a lot. You're going to face moments of adversity and where you got to kind of, and I think it's all good prep and training for hopefully when we're playing even more important games later in the year and beyond, hopefully.
Gary.
You mentioned having faith in putting Bellinger wherever you want, whether he's played there recently or not. You might not necessarily do that with some other guys if they haven't been there. Does that just come from his track record, or is that something else about him?
Yeah, I think it's just something that makes him a pretty special, unique player. Not everyone can do that at the level he does it. There are guys that, that's a calling card for them. Their versatility. He's a really good athlete, obviously. To be able to legitimately play center field and play a high level of first base, like let's start with those two skill sets. That's pretty unique. So obviously, to be able to handle the corners and to have no I don't even know if ego's the word. It's probably not, but put me wherever. I'll go play, fill out the lineup and then put me where the open spot is. And when he said that to me, I took it to heart this winter, but now I've lived it with him, and it's a real comfort.